Hi all, I'm here to give a small information regarding the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. Let us all see what solidarity is and why this day is commemorated so. Solidarity means a union or fellowship arising from common responsibilities and interests. The United Nations International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people is annually observed on November 29th since 1978. This day is also known as Solidarity Day. It's a day to remember that the Palestinian people have not yet attained certain inalienable rights, including national independence and sovereignty.
Tell you why this day is important. For over 70 years, the Palestinian people have endured many tragedies and crises. Over 8 million Palestinian people live in the Palestinian territory occupied by Israel. This territory was occupied since the Six-Day War in 1967, when Israel defeated Egypt, Syria and Jordan. The occupied territories consist of the East Jerusalem in Israel, the neighboring Arab states and the refuge camps. This occupation is the longest in the modern history. The Palestinian people have yet to attain their inalienable rights as defined by the General Assembly, namely the right to self-determination without any external interference, the right to national independence and sovereignty, the right to return back to their home and property from which they were displaced.
Now let us have an insight into the day's history. On November 29, 1947, the UN General Assembly adopted Resolution 181. This resolution became known as the Partition Resolution. It called for the establishment of a Jewish state and an Arab state in Palestine. The partition plan was never fully implemented and civil war broke out shortly after the adoption of the resolution. Following that, Israel became a country in 1948. An Arab state was never formed. In 1977, the United Nations General Assembly called for an annual observance of the resolution on the partition of Palestine. The International Day of Solidarity traditionally provides an opportunity for the International Committee to focus its attention on the fact that the question of Palestine remains unresolved.
I shall tell you how the Solidarity Day is observed. In the light of the call of the United Nations, different exercises are attempted yearly by the governments and common society. Special meetings are held to observe the Solidarity Day in some UN offices, councils, government bodies and organizations that have a special interest in the issues encompassing the event. Government officials, educators and civil society organizations hold a variety of events demonstrating solidarity with the Palestinians on this day. These include the issuance of special messages, meeting dissemination of publications and film screening. A special meeting is held each year at United Nations headquarters in New York. The United Nations offices in Geneva and Vienna host meetings on this day. It encourages the member states to continue to give the widest support and publicity to the observance of the Day of Solidarity. Last year, the special meeting in the observance of the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people took place on 27th November 2019 at New York.
The goal was the same all these years. Malcolm X, late American minister and a human rights activist, has rightly voiced, if someone puts their hands on you, make sure they never put their hands on anybody else again. Hasn't the time come yet to put an end to the longest military occupation in contemporary history? Don't the Palestinian people have the right, like all nations, to their independent sovereign state? Don't they have the right to see an end to the ordeal of the refugees who were forcibly uprooted from their homes in 1948? The goal remains clear. An end to the occupation that started in 1967 and the creation of independent, sovereign and viable state of Palestine living side by side in peace with the secure state of Israel. An agreed solution must be found for millions of Palestinian refugees around the region and to build peace in the minds of all men and women and restore the foundations of living together in security and harmony.
India has always stood by the Palestinian people in pursuit of their legitimate goals and efforts aimed at economic and social development with dignity and self-reliance. India has also extended material assistance to the Palestinian National Authority, and such assistance has been utilized for humanitarian relief, development projects, establishment of educational and training institutes, budgetary support and so on. Before I conclude, I would like to commend the Indian Council for World Affairs for organizing an event every year to mark the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. I'm looking forward to the day when a comprehensive solution can be achieved, resulting in an independent, sovereign, viable and a united state of Palestine. On this International Day of Solidarity, we renew our deepest gratitude to all those who have supported the struggle, strengthened the determination and steadfastness in their bleakest hours across history. Thank you.